Hi, honey, how are you? Welcome back to the channel, or if you're new here, I'm Teknikolour. While normally I'd be sharing a build of my own, today we're going to be touring your submissions to my Tech Summer 25 Shell Challenge. Before we get into it though, I share a lot of the Sims 4 content here on YouTube, so if that sounds fun, please don't forget to like and subscribe. Plus, right now, there's actually a pretty big summer sale going on in the EA app for Sims packs. Some expansion packs are half off right now, and I think Businesses and Hobbies is on sale again with a 20% discount, the lowest it's been since launch. If you really like my content and you're planning on grabbing something in the sale, please consider using my EA creator code, Teknikolour, at checkout on the EA app or at ea.com. Using my code helps me continue making content full-time, and while it usually gives me a 5% commission, during this sale, they have increased that commission to 7%. It's a really easy way to support me or your favorite Sims creators if you plan on getting any packs during the sale, which lasts through August 11th. In case you didn't see my shell challenge announcement video a couple of weeks back, this is the shell that I came up with my Twitch community. It's 2 floors plus a basement, and all of the submissions were absolutely incredible, and I'm already itching to host my next shell challenge because of it. I'll link the video in the description to the speed build for this if you're interested, but I decided to make my shell into a coffee house in Nordhaven, the world that comes with Businesses and Hobbies. This one was submitted by Tornasuk21, and I am obsessed with all of the landscaping and the terrain manipulation. I mean, I struggle with both of those, as y'all know, and I'm just obsessed. There's a cute little pond in the front of the lot, and then there's this beautiful little seating area. Once you've come in the front door, you have this beautiful living room in front of you, and then on this side, you have a little office space and a beautiful kitchen, which is using a lot of the new kitchen clutter kit, which y'all know I love. Through this door is a little tiny area to get into the basement. And I was not expecting to come down here and see this apothecary place and just this nectar making basement. I was very impressed with this. Making our way up to the second floor, there is this beautiful arrangement of the new wall lights, which I cannot stop using. The first door that we see leads to this beautiful bedroom, and across the hall is a perfect fairy bathroom. And then quite possibly my favorite room is the little kids room, and there's space for 3 kids in here, and it just screams fairy. And I want to play more with Enchanted by Nature now. This lot here was submitted by Darkflower7, who I fear I have encouraged to get way too many Sims packs lately. And I absolutely love this backyard because it has this sunken area in the pool. And I just want to hang out here every day in the summer. I think the entrance to this build is really pretty. Then when you come in the front door, this is what you're greeted with. I love the living room setup with the dining room right behind. And then on this side, there is a little office space. And then we have the kitchen. One thing that I was very impressed with is this is a tiny little room that they made into a little pantry, just using shelves and just items on the shelves. And I don't know how I've never thought to do this. Down into the basement is a little work area and laundry room and even space for wine. And then through this door is a lovely little hangout space for a teen and their friends. I mean, who would not want to just have like a black light on in here with all of these like frames that are like neon colored and just having like the best time playing video games with your friends? Upstairs, there's a hallway, and you go through this first door, and there is a just charming little bedroom in here. And something that I really liked was it's a Jack and Jill bathroom setup. So you come through here and there's this bathroom, and then through this door is the teens room, and I just think it's so cute. And this definitely gives off the same vibes as the little hangout space downstairs. Back out into the hallway, and then across here is the primary bedroom, and I love green. And I love a lot of the decor in this room, so it just feels so cozy. And then of course, they have their own little primary bathroom up here. And I just think having this item from the sleek bathroom kit and kind of just having it like shoved into the wall a little bit gives it so much more interest. And I am definitely going to start putting that in my builds. Something that I find so exciting is that a lot of people will come up with backstories, some that are elaborate and some that are just a little bit shorter. And it's just so interesting to see how we all build like this in The Sim. This submission by Tiny Snubble has a little backstory, and it is called Phoenix Rest. It's a once forgotten home now brought back to life. The air carries a sense of renewal, as if the house itself breathes again, proud to shelter new stories where silence and dust once lingered. Also, I should say that I feel like it's very rare to see people building in Evergreen Harbor, so I am very excited that Tiny built here. I have been following Tiny for a while, and I just have to say, I am always so impressed with her build style. I mean, you can definitely see the backstory coming into play here. And it's just so exciting to see what she comes up with every single time. Once I came in the front door, I knew that this was going to be a very interesting build to tour. I mean, look at this living room. And then you have space over here where it's just like exposed metal. And then, I don't know, I'm just so impressed. You swing around this way and then you see that we have the kitchen. There's a little dining area. And through these doors is the pathway to the backyard. And I don't know, I just think that this is so chill. Also, I feel like this is very werewolves coded and I kind of want to play here. Through that door right off of the entry is a, you know, it's a bathroom. I don't know that I'd want to use that toilet, but here we are. Heading down the basement stairs, you have quite an interesting little basement. There's a little bar area, and then around here, there's, you know, just like a little table with some planning, you know. I don't know what would happen here. Maybe we're not supposed to be down here. I was trying to figure out how to get to the second floor, and actually there's ladders on either side in those areas, and this is quite interesting to me. So there's like a little office space, you might call it. Then through this door, you actually have balcony access, and there's even another way to access the roof, which, you know, is a little Walking Dead style, or I don't know. Then there's actually a couple of other rooms. You go through this door and there is a bathroom, you know, where we seem to be a little off the grid. You know, we're up and coming. Everything is fine. And then you have a door over here, which leads into a bedroom with some stuff is happening. And then in the last room, you have this other bedroom. And, you know, we're a little bit more artsy here. There's some, you know, there's some interest in here. I am also very impressed with this garage door inspired headboard. It is not what you would typically, you know, want as a headboard, but I don't know. I think for this build, this was like kind of such a genius idea. This one was submitted by Marina Sky, and the description says, "We're tucked away in the storybook countryside of Henford-on-Bagley. Raccoon Hollow is a charming family cottage built for Sims who adore all things woodland. This lovingly crafted home blends rustic cottage core charm with playful animal-inspired touches, perfect for a family looking to live close to nature and their furry forest friend." And can I just say, I was so excited when I was touring this build on stream, because look at this. You go in and there's gonna be little raccoon decor, you know, everywhere. See if you can spot it all. And I was just having the time of my life trying to find all of the little raccoons everywhere. You've got a lovely little kitchen over here, and, you know, maybe a raccoon. We have the little dining spot and then this cozy little living room. Through this door over here is just a small little bathroom. And then backing out around this corner, there is entrance to the backyard. And I just gotta say, the landscaping that Marina does in her builds is always so fabulous. This basement's pretty cool because it has this whole work area, there's office space, and there's also a lot of artistic things in here. So you definitely know that the Sims living here are artists. Plus, there's a whole laundry room, and then over here is a little bathroom, and there's just like space for so much in here. Once you've come up to the second floor, you just go down this hallway. And I thought that this was really impressive that you just go down here and there's 4 doors and you just go in here. There is a lovely green bathroom. Across the hall is a bright yellow bedroom, which has its own bathroom space over here, which honestly is quite large. And then also there's a door out to its own little personal balcony. Backing out into the hall to those other 2 rooms, you can see that there is just this woodland little kids room, and I just think it's so sweet, and I would love this room as a kid. And then our last room is actually this darker green teens room, and I think it's like really cool for a teenager. This build was submitted by It's Emily 2004, and I just love this dark building, and then having these little wooden slat walls. Swinging around over here, you actually see we've got a mailbox, and there is the front door. And once you've stepped in, you can see that there's a ladder to the basement, and then over here you can see steps to go upstairs. And then over here, there's just like shelving at the top for some like open shelving for your kitchen. And then on this side, you've got some cabinets. And I just think it's such a small galley kitchen, but it works so well in here. And then also having this little window here lets in light, and it also shows you the outdoor dining space. Then on the other half of this floor, there is a lovely living room. There is also a door to the outdoor area, which has a pool and this lovely custom-made fountain. And even though it's a smaller area, it really doesn't feel like it. Now, I have to tell you, when I was touring this and I came down this ladder, I was not expecting to see this, and it just feels like a little speakeasy or like nice little bar area downstairs, and it just feels so sleek and also cozy, and like, who would not want to have a party down here? After you've made it to the second floor, there's a door over here to this nice bathroom. I have to say, I'm a big fan of the fitness stuff pack. And then off of the bathroom, there is this awesome office over here. And this is where I would want to work. I mean, no matter where you place this build, I feel like the view is just going to be fantastic. Then those other 2 rooms lead into what I believe to be a primary bedroom with an ensuite bathroom, and then a second bedroom. And honestly, this is the one that I would want to sleep in. Pineapple Pie 123 submitted this build, and I just love the backyard and the landscaping on the roof, which I have to start doing. I love this entrance because it is visually appealing, and there's even space to like hide the garbage bins, and there's seating, and then you just come through this and look, you just have a drop-off space, and then you come around here, and this is dining space, which leads to the kitchen, which I love the tile backsplash here. There are stairs over here, which we will come back to. I love the new fridge. Over on this half is this tiny little living room, but it really doesn't feel like it. It feels like a space where you could just chill out and zone out, and it's gonna be real comfy. And then this bathroom over here is just so calm and cozy. I was also very, very surprised because this hallway is a little confusing because you come over here and look, there's just a little laundry space, and I was not expecting it. I thought this was like a window. I wasn't even thinking. There is space to go downstairs, but let's head outside first. There is a little area to, you know, entertain outdoors. There is a little fenced-in pool for the kiddos. And there's a swing set, and there's some dining space. The basement acts as a secondary kind of living room or guest space, with another very serene looking bathroom, and then a gym. And there's these mirrors over here, which I thought was like, there was more space. I forgot how small the basement was, and I was like, wait a minute. Plus, there is a little wardrobe over here and a office space. Heading upstairs, you can see that there is an office space and these bright windows. And then there's even just a little like outdoor balcony space. And then you head on up here and there's a little hangout space on the roof. And I don't know, I was just not expecting it. And it's really, really cute. That first room that you see leads to this bedroom. And I love having the TV over here because I like having a TV in my bedroom, even if the only time I ever watch it is when I'm doing laundry. And then there's another bathroom over here. And I don't know, I just am really digging the bathrooms in this build. Then there is another door off the edge over here. And it looks to be maybe a younger teens room or something. And I really love the colors in here. And I just think it's really sweet. And now you might be surprised because you go through this door and there's another bathroom. And you can see that it's a Jack and Jill bathroom. And you go through this door and there's another pink little cute room in here for maybe like another teen. And then you go through this door and you're basically at the start of the stairs. And I was just very impressed with like the spacing in here. I also adore when people just don't go straight for a residential build, which is usually what I do. And Cinnabon Andy had submitted this one. The Verdigris Bend Library is in the heart of Crow's Crossing. Surrounded by beautiful gardens, this historic, jewel-toned, two-story library is nestled between the park and Riverbend. Knowledge and excitement await within these book-lined walls, whether you are looking for the latest fantasy novel, scholarly research, a quiet chess game, or even story time for the little ones. You can unwind outside with your new books on the covered back porch or numerous benches around the garden. And there is so much attention to detail here because Andy made this as close as he could to match the surrounding area while also making the build itself stand out from the rest. So you can see that a lot of these trees and the way that the landscaping is done is very similar to the exterior park area. Coming in through the front door, you have this reception desk over here where you can check out your books and talk to the librarian. Support your local library. And then over here, I just love the bookcases. And there's a grandfather clock, and I don't know, I am just really thrilled with this whole build. And then over here, there's a little reading room. Like, who would not just want to like sit in this chair? There is a fire running and just enjoy a good book. This door that we saw off the reception area is a little bathroom. And this would probably not stay very clean in a public library, but you know, it's The Sims. The basement is a little small hallway, and you come in here and it looks to be the employee break room. And I just think that this is such a nice use of the space. And it just feels like very like warm and welcoming. And then there's like the archives room across the hall. And the use of the space in here is just so well done. Then heading upstairs, there are the computer desks. And something that I really enjoy about this build is that this space is open down to below. And there's even a little children's play area, which reminds me of my own public library growing up. And the children's section was upstairs, and it was just so sweet. Plus, there's a space outdoors to just read some books, maybe, you know, have like a quiet conversation outside. There is a swing set. And plus, I mean, over here, you just have this whole space that you could just chill out here while you're visiting the library. And this is like honestly a really nice library. There's also on the other side this little tucked away little area, which honestly is where I would want to chill out and read a book. And then I was so impressed because Marina Sky, who gave us the Raccoon Hollow build from earlier, had actually decided to do a second submission. And this one is actually all because they got the new Enchanted by Nature pack and were like, I want to use the items. I love the driveway, and then you can see the yard in the back, and then over here, just with the glass walls, which we got from the base game update, like right before this pack. And then this particular swatch. Oh, but you come in through the front door. I'm obsessed with the mirror from Enchanted by Nature. And then on this side, look at this living space. I mean, I would be hanging out here all the time. Although I am an introvert and I probably wouldn't want everyone to be seeing in to my living room. Maybe not, I don't know. And then over here, there's a little archway and you head in here. I love this kitchen setup. Adore this kitchen setup. And then you also have some cabinets over here. There's a little nook for a microwave. This door over here actually leads out onto the back porch. And there is another little seating area, which is just tucked away in here. And you didn't even notice it behind the TV, I bet. And then there's a little dining space over here with a fireplace. And then we have access to the whole backyard. And again, the terrain manipulation, y'all always do so well here. And I need to learn. Then coming back inside, you can see the stairwell to go upstairs. But then this door leads you down into the basement. I was expecting a bathroom, but look at this. This is like so mystical, and I was not expecting this when we came downstairs. But then you go through this door over here and you see a cute little fairy bathroom. And then there's another door over here and you're like, what is this? And you come through and there's like a little shrine or something, like a little altar. And I'm just like blown away. I thought this was really cool. You come upstairs and immediately there's another archway and there's a little office space and there is just an apothecary area. And it was just so unexpected and I just really love this. Then down this hallway, a couple of people had a setup like this, which I was not expecting because I didn't see this at all when I was building my shell. This first door leads into a cute little one bedroom. Across the hall is a matching little chill bathroom. And then these two doors lead down into a cute, adorable kids bedroom. And then the other door is actually the primary bedroom. And this is honestly probably like the most stunning area. I am just so impressed with how everyone utilized the space in this shell and just came up with something totally different. And I cannot wait to host my next shell challenge. Don't forget to use my creator code Teknikolour if you're planning on grabbing businesses and hobbies or any other Sims packs. While it isn't a discount code for you, it does help take a small portion of your sale out of EA's pockets and helps to support my channel and keeps content like this coming. And if you're interested in this summer sale, don't wait. It's only available until August 11th. Thanks for watching. If you'd like to download my Nordhaven Coffee House or any of my previous builds, you can find them on the gallery using my EA account ID, Teknikolour. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on future videos. But I'll catch you in the next one. Bye-bye.